Hey gang, today I want to talk to you about A/B testing. A lot of you already know what A/B testing is. For those of you that don't know, A/B testing is this. You try something out one way and you try it out another way and you see which one works best. Now, there is a flaw in the A/B testing of a lot of pool players. They'll change their stroke, they'll change their stance, they'll change things, but they're working with very small numbers. The larger your number sampling is, the more accurate your A/B testing is going to be. So I'm going to give you a list of some things, just a few of the things that you can do some A/B testing with. What's very important though is that you have a large enough sampling under the same conditions. So don't tell me, hey, I shot 1,000 shots with an open bridge and I shot 1,000 shots with a closed bridge at the pool hall the other day and I made more at the pool hall. You may shoot better at the pool hall, okay? You gotta test under the same conditions and you won't need 1,000 shots. You guys hear me talk a lot about the Extra or the Mighty X, or we all have different names for it. Those of you that don't know, basically what we're doing is we're getting down on a shot and we're shooting it straight into that pocket. You shoot a stop shot, you shoot a follow shot, you shoot a draw shot. When I started doing this, I started immediately on large numbers. I'm talking 100 before I left the table. Now I do about 50 before I leave the table. What I learned after doing my first 100 was this. If I get down on this shot with an open bridge and I play that one ball, I am about 1.5–2% more likely to make that shot than if I play it with a closed bridge. When you're talking about 100 shots, 2 or 3 is significant. That's the difference between winning and losing a match, especially if you're playing somebody that is the same level as you. If you can improve your game today just by changing which bridge you're using, wouldn't you do it? Now, I've also found that after shooting so many of them, and like I said, I try not to leave the table without shooting at least 50, that if I have to shoot a forced follow, the open bridge is still superior. If I have to shoot a stop shot, the open bridge is more superior. If I have to shoot a draw shot from this distance, I have to go to a closed bridge. Can't pull it off personally with an open bridge. Working on your stroke with A/B testing is probably number 1. But breaking is certainly high on the list, especially if you play 9-ball where you're playing with a very predictable rack. But let me ask you something. How many balls do you make on the break average? 0.5? Most amateurs, the number is going to be about 0.3. You're not making a ball on the break on average. I don't care who you are, what you're playing on. The best in the world aren't making a ball on the break in 8-ball all the time. Their average might be 1.3 or something in that area. But if you don't know, it's because you haven't kept score. You have an idea in your head because you have selective memory. We all have selective memory. You can get on the table and break 50 times. Don't run them off. Break, rack, break, rack, break, rack. Do that 50 times. Now you've got some legitimate numbers. Even league night, you can keep track of your numbers. If you play every week, some of you play 2–3 times a week. That's a lot of breaks. That's 15 to 30 breaks that you're getting in that you could keep track of. Now, I warn you, you don't want the 7-foot table breaks to get mixed up with the 9-foot table breaks because you might break well, very well on a 7-foot table and then you break on a 9-foot table and the balls don't even reach the rails. Lighter cues break better. If you don't buy into it, do some A/B testing. 50 with the 19-ounce cue, 50 with the gimmick 25-ounce cue. You'll find out. You'll find out quick if you actually do test. Break 50 times from here, 50 times from here, 50 times from here, and see how you do. A/B testing, especially you 9-ball players. You got to be doing it. What cue in your bag breaks better for you? Have you ever thought of A/B testing your break cue and your playing cue? Everyone who has a YouTube channel devoted to pool has at some point told you, if you shoot these rail shots with inside English, you'll make them better. I've told you that. If you shoot these rail shots and you apply inside English, it's easier to make them. But there's a catch. I am shooting them with the ability to shoot down table with that running English on the ball and being assisted by a low deflection cue. The shot is different for me and the other YouTubers, skilled and some semi-skilled, but it's different for us. So what we're telling you to do is something that you probably should A/B test. Because if you're an APA 3, as an example, you're a good sample, you're a good example of an average player. If you're an APA 3 and you have to shoot that 6 ball for all the money, you have to shoot that 6 ball to send your team to Vegas, and you shoot it with inside English, you are far more likely to miss that shot than if you shoot it without inside English, because it is not a shot that is part of your game on a regular basis. If you're an APA 3, all you've done, especially if you have a standard deflection cue, is taken a shot that is relatively easy and making it difficult. So before you start adding English when you don't necessarily need it, how about you shoot 50 of these with and 50 of them without English? Put your cue ball on the spot and see how you make out. Some things change over time. This is one of those things that might change for you as you get better and better at English and you get better and better at shot making. But do some A/B testing regardless of your level and see if that's the best way for you to make these shots. Before you go watching a video and changing your stroke, because this guy said I'm supposed to do this, and this guy said I'm supposed to do that, and this guy says I'm supposed to say ladies and gentlemen before I shoot the ball. Before you start messing up your stroke, do some testing, because a lot of you are the product of the last video you saw. And every week somebody comes to me with a new gadget, a new stroke, a new stance, a new something. And luckily, they're often a student of mine, so we can analyze it. Let's take a look at your new stance, your new stroke. Let's see if it's working for you. Let's test it. Let's shoot a few racks and see how you make out. Some people just pausing on the ball or pausing on the backstroke or not pausing at all will be the change that they need. But we need to find out, because people have very, very, very short memories. Last thing I'm going to give you, and again, everything that you do, you can do A/B testing. If you're serious about your game, you will do this. But here's one for you. You have to make the 1 ball to win the money. You come over here, you take a look at it, or do you? I don't. Might be a good habit. If I shot 100 of them, came over here and looked at it, and I only missed 2, and maybe when I get down on it and don't go over there and look at it, I get over here and I find out, oh, I didn't miss any when I did that one. I've got a good sampling. 2% misses, 0% misses, right? There's a lot of things you can do your testing with.